Hello and welcome back to another Plomo review. Today we're finally taking a look at the other first wave 30-minute missions kit, the Alto, in gray. Yeah, it took me quite a while to get this, but hey, whatever. I've already taken a look at a couple of Portanovas. I'll put some cards up here if you want to go watch those. But let's not digress. Let's start off this review, as always, by taking a look at the articulation. Alright, getting into the articulation. Starting off, the head is on a ball joint, so you get a really nice wiggle there. Full rotation. And the neck is actually hinged, so you get really far back. Pretty good forward as well. The shoulders are on a forward-facing hinge, though don't expect to get a ton of movement out of those. And then a ball joint, so, pretty good motion there. And, of course, full rotation. The shoulder armor is actually a separate piece, so that can be hinged up out of the way, and you can get like almost all the way up without even rotating the arm. This thing has really, really good articulation there. Rotation at the upper bicep, a little bit tight, but that's not really a problem. And while it only has one joint at the elbow, it does get above 90. Hands, as usual, are on ball joints. Now moving on to the waist, you get a forward-facing ball joint in the chest, which lets it rotate side to side and also bend forward. And you get a rotation at the waist, which is on a ball joint, but it's just meant to be a swivel. These can move up and down a little bit, but doesn't really affect anything. Oh, also, don't forget action base connection there. This actually has master grade style hip shifting, so you get really good kick out to the front, and to the back is completely ridiculous. And you get full splits, no problem. There's a rotation of the upper thigh, which uses a ball joint, but a little bit of a wiggle, but aside from that, it's fine. Double jointed knee, which is frankly crazy how well that bends, and you do get knee separation as well, so it looks okay. The way that it works may look a little bit awkward, but it looks good enough. For the ankle, you get a hinge side to side, and then a ball joint, not a ton to the front or back, and also this little armor piece is on a ball joint as well. So these guys are really well articulated, especially given the size and how simple they are. Now, moving on to accessories, let's start off, as always, with the sticker sheet. Just a bunch of numbers, 3 different sizes. The top ones are only single, then you get doubles for these two, and they also are in black and white. So these come with all of the 30-minute missions kits, so they are specific to each focus. Yeah, as you can see, it does mention Alto, so they are specific to each faction, at least. Next up, we have the little Roy. This is a little droid that it comes with, just 3 pieces. Not really articulated. I mean, you do have a rotation here, I guess, but it's just sort of a little bonus. And also, you can actually pop off the head, pop this off, and sort of give it a more droid style head, which is nice. And I will say it works a lot better on the Alto than it does on the Portanova, because the round shapes just kind of make it look a little awkward on that. Also, I will take a moment to point out that all I've done to this is panel line it and also paint silver behind the visor, just because I think it looks a lot nicer when you do that. Next up, you get a little sort of brass knuckle thing that slides into the hand. It doesn't want to be held in the hand, apparently. There we go. This definitely looks a lot nicer than the Portanova one, though it also still looks pretty janky. It's just sort of a thing they threw in so that you'd have a handle for any additional weapon pieces, but yeah, not amazing or anything, but it is there. And finally, we do get a rifle, which sits in the hand a little bit weirdly, but that's because it has a trigger molded in, but you can't actually fit that into the hand. Looks good, and does actually have a few modifiable parts. You can take off the barrel and the scope and nothing else, but don't worry about that. And unfortunately, the Alto weapons aren't compatible with the other weapons from the other suits, so yeah, that's fun. Also, now that we've gone through all the accessories, let's take just a second to go over like customization parts. You can take this faceplate off in case you want to put on another one, and this makes it a lot more obvious that I painted silver in there. Also, these pieces can be swapped out for other armors. The Portanova just straight up has you swapping out the shoulders, and this chest piece can come off, though not super easily. There we go. And as you can see, there was a 3mm port in there. There's also one on each side. These are, and then this is actually attached on. Come on. By two 3mm ports. Then there's also one here. These are attached on by 3mm. There's one on the side of the arm there, one up on the shoulder, and one on each side of the leg. So while it's not as many as the Portanova and, of course, the Rabiot, CL Nova, and now the Spinio, something like that, it was the first one they designed, obviously, so it doesn't have quite as much as the others, but it is still completely compatible with those and has plenty of modification options on its own. And as for a quick size comparison, the Alto isn't really massive or anything. These 30-minute mission kits aren't massive in the first place, but yeah, don't expect anything too large out of these, but they are still, decently sized. So to wrap this review up, the Alto was a very nice start to the 30-minute missions line, and honestly, it's a pretty nice kit. I'm sure that even with the few slight quirks it has compared to the others, it is still completely capable of being turned into whatever you feel like. So if you were interested in getting an Alto, I can completely recommend it. But anyway, that's been all for this review. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, it helps a lot. Subscribe for future reviews and watch my backlog. Go follow me on Twitter for updates, and consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep bringing you reviews, just like this one. And as always, until next time, happy building.